The next thing you know, I had like the largest listing of my life.
So the big question is, what are top agents doing to absolutely crush it in real estate, grow their teams and add more transactions year over year while so many struggle? To get the answers, we interview top real estate agents to learn their secrets to success. Listen, we believe every agent should make a minimum of $100,000 per year, and we're on a mission to make this happen. We've already helped over 100 agents achieve this with our coaching. So if you want to fast track your business growth, get to your first $100,000 in GCI or add another $100,000 in GCI using social strategies, then head over to go.eliteagentsecrets.com, or you can just click the link in the description below. Also, just make sure to follow us, hit that subscribe button, and if you get any value from this at all, please tell a friend and leave us a review. My name is Andrew Dunn.
And my name is Peter Michael. Welcome to Elite Agent Secrets.
Knowing your numbers and making money, it's about what keep rolls quite nicely into your third, which is, I think, the key to all business. It's not just real estate. This is the key to making money and doing good in every walk of life. It's not even business, it's like life. So your third topic is find a way to solve problems and don't worry about the commission dollars.
That's right.
There's a story there. Tell us more.
There's plenty of stories to that. There's, the phone call you get from somebody you sold a home to 4 years ago that wants, hey, do you still have these documents available? Right? Well, me going to search for those documents is of no consequence to I'm not making any more money off of it. Right? If I look at it like that, I'm like, well, that's an asshole way to look. That's terrible. I'm like,
yeah,
just do the right thing. Help them solve, and tell you hey, I can get to that this weekend for you or whatever it might be. But there's been plenty of times where I've went out with a client and they wanted a certain home. They had an idea of everything, and they're about to put in an offer on this place. And I just said hey, you really should think about XYZ. This area is kind of on a decline, and the house that you're buying, there's one that foreclosed 2 doors down. And I know you kind of want this, but I'm maybe it's not the best time. Right. And I'm I actually say this, and I think it's very comforting to people. And I'm I'm telling you not to do this right at this moment with this particular property. And this is coming from somebody who makes money when you buy or sell a home. Right. I'm telling you not, I'm advising you not to do it. And I find when you just do the right thing all the time, good shit happens, right? Good stuff happens. I remember there was one gentleman years ago when I first got started, he called me offline, went to show him a house. And at that time I was young and I was I didn't even ask for a pre-approval. I got there. This guy couldn't afford to buy the house. He didn't have anything. He was just looking because he was in the market for the next 2 years. Well, I treated him like a human being, like everybody should be treated, right? And that guy referred me 3 people over the next 2 years until he actually bought a house. Okay, so it's just that sort of. It's weird that it even has to be said.
Yeah,
treat everybody like a human being with respect, and it doesn't matter. I have actually a very recent. Very fun price point story where, sometimes people get into that. Well, oh, I'm not dealing with these lower priced homes or whatever. And I'm in an area where during the course of the year, last year, we sold a place for $10,000 and $1.75 million. Right. So it's that's a really big gap, but all these people need help. They're all still people and they're all whatever it might be. The fun story with this $1.75 million joint was I helped the people sell a $70,000 home about a year prior. I had no clue that they had this extravagant thing going on, but I just did the right thing. And it was an expired listing even. And they reached out randomly and I said, yeah, sure, I can help you. No problem. I know that area, whatever. Went through it, and then they came back to me because she's well, you just treated us so nicely and you did the right thing. And I was yeah, well, that's what I think people should do. The next thing you know, I had the largest listing of my life, and I was well, that was pretty cool. And then a fun side story to that was I ended up getting both sides of it.
That's awesome.
On a random phone call. And at that time I was transitioning in buyer's agents. It was kind of like there was somebody there, but not totally dependable. And I tried to send out that lead a couple times to a few different people, and nothing happened. And I was like, well, I can't do today. How about next week? They showed up, did it, and it just worked out. But like all that generated from me, kind of just looking at the $70,000 deal. I'm like, well, I'm going to do the same thing I would if it was $100,000 or $700,000. So it's just solving these people's problems, right? Like you said, is the key to any business. And there's a shit ton of problems out there, both in real estate and in the world. And you solve them, and then you're golden. And then don't have that. Tom Ferry calls it the commission breath, right? I'm sure you guys have heard of it. That always stuck with me. You could get that sense from, just certain people, certain agents. It's like when that's happening, people pick up on this shit, right? That's when that energy thing, that's when you're going to feel it in your stomach and be like, there's something wrong here. I don't like this, right? So just solving people's problems, not having to worry about if something sells or not. Like, you're going to be taken care of. The universe has your back, man. You just have to do the right thing and it'll show up. It's that scarcity versus abundance thing, which is a real battle.
Right? It totally is.
It's a real battle.
I've said this once. I'll probably say it another million times. Real estate's a minimum of a 10-year game. So you might be like, I'm not going to get anything from this tomorrow. And it's like, yeah, probably not. Right. But in 2 or 3 years, they might want to buy and sell. Their friends might want to buy and sell. Someone might. And then you didn't have to work for that deal apart from just doing the right thing now. So it's like, I think the only people personally, and calling people out, that really struggle with this notion of people who are kind of in it for a quick buck, when like real estate is one of the most phenomenal industries for making insane amounts of money for your dollar. Like, you're talking about putting $1 in and getting 10 to 20 plus dollars out, whether it's staff, and like no business, or very, very few, I'm not saying no, software companies are like that, but it's like real estate is insanely profitable. The thing is with it, it just takes time, right? That's the thing. But like when you got a compound effect, think all our listeners, think about all the brokers, team leads, and then all of a sudden they've got, like last year, they had 100, 200 listings and they didn't ask for a single one. Because they've been in the business for 15 years and people were like, oh, my mum's selling, my friend of a friend's selling, can you list their house? And it's like, that shit just takes time. There's no fast track. There's no shortcut. There's no nothing. It's relationships and it's time. And that is really what this comes down to. So like, if people listening, they're like, I'm going to be in real estate for a couple of years, grab a bit of cash. Like, sure, you can, but you ain't going to make a big bucks. You're not going to start racking up hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars in that amount of time. It's just not going to happen. So what I want to do, Luke, I want to give you the floor just to wrap up it. So if people want to reach out, get in touch, learn more about you, what you got going on, whether they're buying or selling a home in your area, whether you're growing your team, whether you got stuff going on. How can they reach out? Phone, email, socials, website?
I'm open to all conversation. Like, it doesn't, we talked a lot about kind of agent related matters today, but I mean, I'm very passionate. I love the investing side of it, open a conversation, and more so than anything, truly, like just humanity in general. Okay. We're in a weird spot right now where, if you pay attention to what you see out there, it kind of seems like we all hate each other and everybody is just left, right, and all this. And the reality is, honestly, every time I have a conversation with somebody one-on-one, there's no problems. There's differences, but they don't matter. There's no hate, right? So I'm like, anybody wants to talk about anything, life in general, whatever, real estate, they can reach out. My email is probably the best way to get me. I'm not going to put my phone out there because I don't like to answer it the way it is. It's terrible that I say that, but it's just the damn truth. So lukemedico@gmail.com. I'm not even going to give you like the fancy switch around where it's like Luke Medico at the Luke Medico group, right? It's all out to the same place, right? So lukemedico@gmail.com. I'm on Facebook. I'm semi-active on there. I don't know. I think I do have an Instagram, which again, I don't really utilize too much, but people could find me. Throw me into the Google machine. Or if you haven't progressed since 1996, ask Jeeves. Okay, you guys know what that is, right? Andrew?
Yeah, I do, but I'm not sure if that exists, does it? Does it?
No, I don't know, but if it does, that'd be great because I still say it all the time. So maybe go Google it.
That one flew right over my head. So,
all right.
It's got to be what, like Siri or Alexa or whatever now, isn't it? You got to ask them.
Ask Jeeves was like Google before Google.
Yeah.
Right. It was like the thing that
it was a waiter. It was a butler. The logo was a butler like this. Yeah.
He's got it together. Oh, you know what? What good days. Let's just go back to that and Napster and MySpace. I think the world would be much more.
So, for everyone listening, you can find Luke on MySpace at Luke the Realtor.
You know what? And if somebody does take the time to actually look on there, please let me know that I have a profile still, because I would love to get back in there. I remember the top 8. You had top 8. And then Tom was on.
I had like a top 60 because you couldn't fit it, and you had to like write some custom code in there. And
I wasn't that advanced, man. I wasn't paying. Listen, during MySpace time, I was still a teacher. I was on a fixed income. I'm not upgrading anything. Okay, I don't want the premium package of MySpace.
Love it, Luke. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for sharing your secrets or not secrets to success. Really appreciate it. Everyone, we hope you've enjoyed listening to Luke's story. It's been an entertaining one, and we will see you in the next one. Oh, and by the way, if you're listening to this and you aren't making over $100,000 per year in GCI and you're looking for a predictable system to get you there, then head over to go.eliteagentsecrets.com.